Welcome back, everybody. Good to be here with you. Glad you're here with me. And to all the new subscribers, thank you so much for joining us. All the old heads, thank you so much for always being here for me. Um, let's get right into the Bagua walking. And I only call it Bagua walking because I learned it in Bagua. When I started learning Bagua, you really get broke down from how you stand. You'll see people standing like this. Of course, you'll see people with their feet out, and my instructor would correct their feet. That was the first thing. If their shoulder was slunched or their head was cocked, he would correct everything. And if they said, "Hey, I was in a car accident and that's why my shoulders are like this," he would say, "Oh, I understand, no problem. But just start working on correcting all of those little things." And so when you're standing in what we call Wuji, is just a void position. Just the hands are hanging down, the feet are straight ahead, shoulder width apart, and you're just standing there in a void position. But what I want to get into is the actual walking, because like I said, I never was broke down that much to where you're back to learning how to walk, if you will. And just to tell you a quick story, I was playing softball, and I was like 47, 48 years old, 49 years old, and playing the outfield. And my teammates in the outfield were 21, 23-year-old kids and in great shape. Don't get me wrong. They weren't, big old heavyweights, but I was faster than all of them. And I went back to my teacher and I asked him, how can this slow motion stuff get me that much faster? This is incredible. And he said, well, if you think about it, Steve, you've been walking since ever since you learned how to walk, since you were knee high to a pissant or whatever you want to call it. But you been walking the same way since then. So now you're walking differently, and it's firing little tiny muscles up that you haven't used in forever. So these little muscles are getting fired up, and they're getting into the action as well, if you will. And that's what was just making me faster. So I'm telling you guys, this is something that really shocked me and really improved everything I do. And I'll show you coming towards you. What we would do is we would take a slow motion step, and if I'm going a little fast, I apologize, but we would go heel toe, leaving the weight back here. And then as soon as the toe would come down, and now I'm shifting, but I'm not pushing, I'm pulling with the front foot and the front leg, and now the heel comes up, and I take that step from the heel going up, toe. You feel that stabilization happening. You go heel, toe, keep the weight back, shift by pulling, not pushing off. All right, then the heel will come up, the toes up. I take the step, heel, roll it down, keep the weight back, shift by pulling, not pushing. Boy, I tell you, as soon as I start filming, this place never gets any business, and then as soon as I start filming, here comes people. But I left enough room, and the guy got his big old truck through there. Let me just show you from this angle. I take the step, heel, toe, weight remains back, pull forward all the way until the heel comes up, and then I take the next step, heel, toe, pull. All right, heel comes up, heel, roll it down, shift the weight by pulling. All right, I used to health coach, and I was talking to some seniors, and I would tell them to do this over the phone. And one guy said, oh, kind of like going upstairs, but skipping a step. And I was like, wow, that's a great way to put it. A bunch of people would tell me this, especially men. They would have walkers in their garage that they never use, and they feel embarrassed to use them. And I would say, that's fine. If you're embarrassed to use it, don't use it. But now just use it to do this exercise and strengthen the legs this way with that walker. Okay. So if you have a walker and it's in your garage and you don't want to use it, take it out and use it as an exercise tool, not to get around. You don't feel comfortable using it to get around in public or whatever, then don't. But while you're at home, spend a few minutes every single day doing it with that walker. I promise you this will change your life. I was in Utah one time and I was doing this in the park, and some guy came up to me and said, man, are you rehabbing from a heart attack or something? I was like, no. And it was funny to me, but that's what it looked like probably to this guy. But I'll tell you, nothing has shocked me more in the martial arts than doing this slow walking that I learned in Bagua. And you guys do what you want with it, but I tell you, I don't care how old you are, how young you are, if you're male, female, whatever, doing this slow walking will improve so much. And one more thing about that, I've known a lot of old people all my life since I've been a youngin'. And almost every single elderly person I have ever met at one point in their life slips in the bathtub and breaks a hip or what have you, and man, this will help stabilize you like you wouldn't believe. And I always tell people, do 3 minutes. Do 3 minutes a day. I challenge you to just do 3 minutes a day for a month or so. See how you feel. See what's happening with your legs, all right? You're going to see that you're firing up little muscles that you haven't fired up in forever. So think about it, do it, keep up with it. Love you all. Thank you all for being here, and like the video if you got something out of it. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, and I'll see you next week. Peace.